Welcome back to Noir Alley. I'm your host, Eddie Muller, coming to you from the Grand Lake Theater in Oakland, California. That's the Grand Lake Theater, not the Grand Lake Theater. Today we've got a tense hostage drama for you, something many of us can relate to, being trapped in our homes by the coronavirus. Nothing that insidious is at work in The Night Holds Terror, released in the fall of 1955 by Columbia Pictures. It's one of a slew of home invasion dramas released around the same time, pictures that included Suddenly, Storm Fear, and The Desperate Hours. Now, several factors inspired the trend. Cold War insecurity, that we might not be safe in our own homes, a rise in juvenile delinquency exploited in movies like The Blackboard Jungle and Crime in the Streets, and of course, Hollywood's habit of copying whatever worked until every last nickel is wrung out of it. The Night Holds Terror involves a family held hostage in their home by a trio of young hoodlums, played by David Cross, Vince Edwards, and John Cassavetes, all just starting their careers. This is, in fact, Cassavetes' first credited role in a motion picture. The story is based on an incident that happened in Lancaster, California in early 1953, when the Courtier family were held captive in their home. Unlike director William Wyler's The Desperate Hours, which was based on a different but similar true story of a family held hostage, this film is not a high-toned prestige production, which was usually the case when Andrew and Virginia Stone were at the controls. In the early 50s, they'd hit on a formula for making low-budget independent films that disdained the artificiality and gloss of studio productions. But no one mistook the Stones for part of the up-and-coming generation of maverick filmmakers who'd shake up the movie business, outliers like Stanley Kubrick, Arthur Penn, and John Frankenheimer. Andrew Stone was a Hollywood veteran, having begun his movie-making career during the silent era. During the 30s, he learned every aspect of the craft, and by the 40s, he was specializing in musicals, directing 1943's Stormy Weather, which featured the Nicholas brothers' extraordinary jump and jive sequence, considered by many, including Fred Astaire, the greatest dance number of all time. But Stone had grown bored with assembly line filmmaking. He stopped taking for-hire work and assumed full creative control of his own projects. In 1943, he formed Andrew L. Stone Productions, signed a distribution deal with United Artists, and found the perfect co-conspirator for a commando attack on the movie business. Virginia Lively had started as a music cutter at United Artists when she was only 19. Although there was a 20-year age difference, she hitched up with Andrew Stone professionally and personally. They married in 1946, and Lively would be the editor on most of their productions, as well as co-producing, collaborating on the scripts, and sometimes composing the music. Beginning with 1950's Highway 301, the Stones unleashed a series of low-budget crime thrillers that ditched studio sets in favor of shooting everything on location, exteriors and interiors. Gone were all remnants of the classic noir look, as Stone's direction emphasized natural sound and lighting. You won't find rear projections, process shots, stock footage, miniatures, or any other tricks meant to simulate reality. This was especially daring when the Stones got more ambitious, with disaster pictures like The Last Voyage and Ring of Fire. Critic Andrew Sarris wrote appreciatively and wryly that Andrew Stone and his fantastically helpful wife editor have evolved an entirely different ethos of filmmaking. If they want to blow up a train, they blow up a real train. If they want to sink an ocean liner, they sink a real ocean liner. If the Stones had made On the Beach, none of us would be around to review it. Well, there's nothing so grandiose in today's picture, but the Stones still insisted on authenticity, shooting many of the scenes in the locations where they actually happened, and paying the victims, Jean and Dorothy Courtier, $500 to use their real names in the movie. The actual incident, which I'll fill you in on after the film, ended differently than the Stones' dramatization, but the filmmakers still convinced the Courtiers to go on tour to promote the movie. Co-starring Jack Kelly and Hildy Parks as Jean and Doris Courtier, here is The Night Holds Terror.